understand. And I think that the questions that we posed to him were really, really relevant to the demographic. So I thought that segment was really, really well researched.
I tried.
It was really, really well researched. But then with the Occupy, it was kind of an abrupt shift, and which makes sense because we are shifting topics, talking about from politics to kind of like aid and
social issues.
Right, social issues in after like a huge natural disaster. But I felt that possibly we could have had like a different voice for that. Only because, and we were just talking about this, when you get people who are not spoken or when people don't seek out information from people like Sal very often, when it does happen, I think those people feel like they have to let it all out because they don't know when they're going to be approached again. And I've encountered that a lot in just what I do. But I thought that there was a lot of tangential conversation from him. And obviously, like, we're kind of limited as to what we can do. We can only try to cut off and transition so often. So maybe even, like, I don't know, when you guys talk to your sources before, do you kind of go over, like, the questions that you're going to ask? That way they kind of know, like, the boundaries of what...
We usually, with people that are not media trained, we more so. We try. We don't go over them, but we usually send them an email. We contact people via email, via Twitter. And we tell them this is what we want to talk about. This is a person, this and that. It's usually just a paragraph form. With people that are media trained and they're experts in what they do, usually you kind of, the interview is different. You tell them, I want to learn about this. And then you ask them questions based on that. We don't necessarily send them the questions, but, usually they're just more media trained. They know. And they're able to answer. Like Tim, I didn't have to go and tell him, like, I'm going to ask you this, and that. I said, I want to talk about this. And he was like, fine. Right. He was fine with it. He was able to do it. So it depends on the guest.
Okay.
You're right. When it's somebody from an organization like Sal's, where he's just a
very
regular guy, grassroots, they don't know anything. They've never been in media. Yeah. So they don't necessarily understand that you just give like a tidbit of information and then you let them ask you another question. So it's more about, it's a little bit give and take. Yeah.
Can I say I was even more afraid about how that interview was going to turn out? Because like I told Patricia and Kwanzaa, and Selena knows because we were dealing with it. I contacted Occupy a couple of days ago, and they didn't get back to me literally until yesterday at 5 o'clock. Wow. And they were like, we don't really have anyone. We'll send you a list of members of people you can call. Oh. And I kind of went through their bios, and I spoke to the people, and I kind of like felt them out. What was the best bet? It was between Sal and this couple who the girlfriend was stuck in the house, and he swam into the house to get her and proposed to her that same day.
That sounds mad romantic.
Swam into the house?
Yes.
Did he have his diamond ring in his pocket?
Yes. I brought 20 grand for my family. Don't drown. We gotta get married. But,
one of those African kids are mining.
Yeah.
Blood diamonds.
But we couldn't get him, and I spoke to Sal, and then I knew I liked Sal from the second I told him, well, let your voice be heard, and he was like, whoa, that's fucking great.
All right, so he just had a passion for it.
Yeah, but I was worried because he wasn't media trained, and I could tell that. And I told Selena that, I said, I don't know how this interview's going to go. He sounds very rough around the edges, and I was annoyed because, if they're going to be on radio, I thought Occupy would have given us somebody who is kind of prepared for that. Right. But when I spoke to Sal, I kind of gave him a rundown of how things are going to go, and, that's just how I went from there. But, it is what it is.
It's just a very passionate guy.
Yeah. And on the one hand, I think there's a value in that because those kinds of people, because they're not media trained, are not always sought out by more mainstream publications. Right. They go to the people who are and can give an easier interview. So it's nice, on the one hand, to kind of feature those people. But sometimes it can be hard. Like, I know that we were all kind of struggling to... Yeah.
Wait, Stanley said something that was hilarious.
He said,
he was like,
sorry.
He didn't say sorry. He was like, just to cut you off.
Yeah, just to cut you off. Yeah.
Wow. And I'm like, but that's something. As soon as he said that, I was like, I would do that off top. I would have done that. I'm like, I'm sorry to cut you. I'm not even sorry. Cutting you off
just
right
to cut
now.
you off. Yeah.
Like,
I feel like I'm too nice. I would just.
I can tell you.
It felt like less than an hour. It goes like 1,000. Sometimes you have to cut them off, and we've had topics that we don't even get to the whole point of it. Exactly. That frustrates us like, no, we run out of time. or sometimes it's enough. I think this time it was death. A lot of times we ramble on, and then we move on, and then I'm like, oh my god, what happened? So, it's something to learn. But anything else?
Those are definitely the key main things. I really enjoyed it. I'm just thinking of how different this is from print journalism in a good way. And the whole reason why I came here is because I'm considering taking a radio class next semester, and I wanted to kind of get a feel for how it is. But I'm curious about, I was asking you about this a little bit. So you guys have your meetings on Wednesdays, and then do you guys plan, how far ahead in advance? So like when you met this past Wednesday, was it for this Sunday show or next Sunday or whenever you met? Okay. So what's that process like? You guys decide the topics, and then how does the reporting, the contacting, I know you talked about that a little bit, but I'm just curious for my own.
Bring that up as a student because when I first came, my training is in broadcast journalism, and we're prepared. Like at one of the first meetings I had, I was like, "Well, can we prepare
for the week
this day for the rest of the month or for the rest of the weekend?
Then
do like 5 meetings for different things, but we have the topics." It doesn't work that way when you're with pre-planning things. And this, at first, I didn't understand, but then after being with the show long enough, you don't want to plan too far ahead because that story may not be a story by the time you get to the show, or something may happen where you have to we have to cover this show, or we will lose credibility. So I know in the classroom, and then if you take I'm not sure what school you're at, but certain courses they do radio management, and then they'll show that you have a promotion meeting, you have a traffic list meeting where you plan promos, you plan liners, you plan advertisements, and then you'll have a show idea, which is like a meeting, and then you'll plan. But for political and social, you really in media driven, you can't do that. It's you have to do it.
We usually, like I said, come in with ideas, and I was just telling her, I was like, sometimes we're all full of ideas, and some weeks we're very like. Slow week. It happens. Slow weeks, usually we go into social issues that are always an issue. Or things that are necessarily media. And some things we do plan ahead. When we had that white privilege discussion, that was something that we mentioned it, and we're like, we get to talk about it. Nothing happened necessarily that made us say we have
but
to.
That's always a prevalent topic.
We had one on sexual harassment. That was something you just bring up. Domestic violence, the same thing. So there's some that, yes, you can bring them up. Hip-hop, feminism and hip-hop, we have that.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yes, and that was good. That was also, we just brought it up. Hip-hop and social issues. So things like that you can. Other stuff is media driven. We talked about climate change. That was definitely because of Hurricane Sandy. That was last week too. Well, this week we talked about politics, and it's because the election just kind of happened. And, you kind of bring it on into President Obama, doing something. So some things just you have to get on the ball that's already rolling, and you're just like, let's catch wind because people are interested in that.
Okay.
But it's not always. So usually we do this because Thursdays is when we start scrambling to get gas and
sources and
figure out. And everybody has a way of doing it. Everybody has their niche. I was telling you about. So we do our best. Most of the time, we're pretty proud of us because we do end up getting a guest. That's a good thing. Okay. And we've had very great guests. And it's just because we're all so diverse and we all have our different needs, like I said, and different connections.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, right.
I hate you guys.
I hate you too.
No, not that. Cause I'm so self-conscious about jumping not because of you assholes.
Sorry, but it's you.
Shut your mouth, Grandma. No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm really proud of the fact that we're so productive at so little time.
Yeah, me too.
Everyone here works like more than a full-time job. And then you have your personal life, but then we still always find some way to get a pretty good show there. The thing I'm known for in these meetings is it wasn't a great show, it wasn't a bad show, it was okay. We did well.
He says that, you say that every week.
And but it's true. A lot of work goes into putting the show together. And most days, I know Patricia and I are like talking on Facebook, stressed out because we haven't heard from the guests yet, or because we need help doing research, or because we have an op-ed we want to put with this piece, or trying to find a way to formulate the segment. And then when you come here and you do it on Sunday and it all comes together and it's good, it's great. Last week and this week, I think, maybe it's just my opinion, but I think these last 2 weeks have been like especially difficult for us because last week Dustin was gone.
Oh, is he one of the hosts that you were telling me about?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this week, Selena, who's like one of our rocks, she wasn't here because of her birthday. So like, a lot of us had to step up and do different things. And you saw that with like, we didn't have our show break, the show rundowns, which we usually have because of Selena. And Selena's the one that usually keeps us on track so we don't go on too much of a tangent and keeps us on time. So we all had to step up today and do those different things. And don't know. And then you see this. Sometimes we're here till 4 o'clock still working on the show after we've done the show. You turned off the radio. You're like, LOL, that was fun. I'm gonna go enjoy my Sunday, and I'm doing post-production work. And Patricia and Selena are thinking about other guests, and then Kwanzaa and Dustin are planning an event, and it never stops, never. So I mean, I'm really proud of that. So you can finish up.
No. It's just how it is. Like I said, we always have, and it's always like rush to get to Sunday, and then we're done. We usually stay over and do other things. Some weeks we're like not having it. Seriously, some weeks we're in a bad mood. We're just like, we need to go. I'm definitely very guilty of that, of being like, I cannot. I need to just go home because you're tired and it wears you out. When you're done with that, I usually have a headache and it's just because I'm done. I am done. And then tomorrow I gotta get back and start thinking about what we're gonna discuss next Sunday. So it's a lot of work, but
wow.
But I love it.
No, it sounds really, really like an exciting, great way to kind of empower your community and like your guys' mission statement this generation.
It's empowered us, I think. I feel like it's really empowered
Definitely
me.
Made me
Patricia is like a rock star in my eyes now. I mean,
Aww.
I like to make fun of Patricia all the time, but she's a freaking rock star, like a serious like feminist, just like engineer, journalist, rock star. And I really feel like it's empowered us in many ways. For me, it's empowered me from social media marketing. I've learned a lot of things. I'm writing more, and I'm more surgical in my approach towards getting information and then discussing it with different people. It's empower. I hope we empower the people. If we've empowered no one else but us, I'd still be happy.
It's still a game,
Exactly.
yeah. And I feel like once you guys step into that kind of public space as radio show hosts,
it starts to make you hold yourself accountable to staying informed about these things so that you can educate other people, And so, like you said, even if that's the only benefit, which I seriously doubt, because I heard about this from someone who is, she grew up in the Bronx and always
listens to this radio station. So I know you have at least,
I didn't even know. I thought you just liked me on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But it's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that you did.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed
this is
it.
hard, especially, like I said, our personal life is also, and it gets complicated. We all talk. Selena is always really like, oh, Patricia, what's gonna happen if you get married or if you have babies? And I'm like, listen, it doesn't really matter. I'm here now, and if one day I'm not able to be here all the time, I'm still want to be part of this because it's something so much bigger than us. So, and hey, if you pave the way for her, actually, because she's younger, doing something right. Yeah. So, like, that's the point. So, anyway, you have anything else to ask?
I'm curious, like, how much time outside of today do you guys spend on the show, whether it's contacting sources, writing up? I noticed you had like a Google Doc of like your information for especially when we were talking to Tim. Yeah. So how many hours, I guess?
It turned into another full-time job. I know for me,
really?
I do market research, I do guest research, then I gotta find songs, I gotta edit, I work on the website, I work on the fan page and the Twitter page. It's it's 2 full-time jobs for me now at this point. Wow. I'm doing at least lowballing it 30 hours a week on the show.
Him and Selena do definitely the most hour-wise. For me, it's about doing research, which usually I try to sneak in while I'm at work or after work. Then during the meetings, we meet up usually 3-4 hours. Am I home? Yeah, usually.
We had a world record meeting on
the
Wednesday.
It
was only 45 minutes. It was 45 minutes. We were in and out.
Yeah, that was record.
And I was like, this is the bomb.
Usually,
I ran that meeting, by the way. I like to make things quick, if you know what I mean.
Well, it was the bomb.
Yeah. Does that go for everything?
Usually it's like
everything.
And then we're so tired after the meeting.
Yeah,
so
especially midweek like that.
Yeah, and that's the Wednesday. Usually Monday is my lull. Tuesday, I'm like, I have got to do research to get it. So that's usually I spend my Tuesday. Wednesday, we got to meet up. Thursday, we're doing research for guests, research on a topic. Guests sometimes is very quick. Sometimes, especially for me, my segment is based on a person that I want to interview. When I wanted to get Jen Posner in here, so I was like, I want to talk about sexism in media. So it went backwards. Yeah. And that's how it goes a lot of times.
Nice.
For me.
Yeah.
That's how it is. like I said, Friday, usually it's like a little bit of a lull because we're tired, but or usually we have to get I like to have my guests by Friday. If I don't have my guests on Friday, I'm
freaking
panicking.
out.
I am panicking. So, maybe he's more calm. I'm not. I was like, you didn't have a guest? You didn't have a guest yesterday?
Yeah, what time was that? It was late, and he's like, can you, because I have the guy kept mentioning, he's there every day, all day,
Forget it?
doing, the Rockaway recovery for Sandy, and then I